Did you know that 1 in 8 kids in Atlanta will go hungry tonight? Eating healthy, balanced meals is essential for kids to learn and grow. That's why Anthem Blue Cross and Blue Shield and education nonprofit Common Threads have teamed up to help schools learn about healthier food preparation. In Atlanta, they're joined by the Dream and will provide education, recipes, and knowledge to students and families about healthier options. Visit anthem.com/dream to learn more. Anthem Blue Cross and Blue Shield is the trade name of Blue Cross Blue Shield Healthcare Plan of Georgia, Inc.
It's time to refuel yourself this afternoon. Grab a freshly brewed bean-to-cup crazy good coffee. Build your best blend and customize with our wide variety of creamers and toppings. Get what you need to get back on track today. Wherever you're headed in Atlanta, Racetrack's here for whatever gets you going. And you'll be here before you know it. We're less than 10 miles away. You'll find us on your way. Racetrack. Whatever gets you going.
Brian, anybody, I mean, it's only 7 practices, but and I'm not talking about the usual characters, has anybody stood out like this that kind of surprised you that, well, this guy can really help us?
Yeah, Russ, I'd say it's still early. We'll keep going through the process. That's what these days are for. You know, they've all been working as hard as they could possibly work in the classroom and out on the field, and that'll all sort itself out, you know, with time.
Anyone not going today who went yesterday?
Nope, everybody. Slay, we're going to back down on Slay a little bit. He's tight. Other than that, I think it's status quo.
Same thing with the guys who were out then yesterday, JMS.
Same thing. Yep.
Dave, I think Jalen Hyatt told us last year that in the middle of the season, he was coming to you for extra meetings, even more so than maybe a normal guy would, to what more can I do? How did that help him going into his second year, that extra time?
Yeah, I just think he wants to be a good football player, so he tries, to do everything he can. And again, I've talked about, one of the conversations is, you're out there, you're running, 50-yard routes 7 times a game, and maybe you're not getting the ball. Staying into it, locked in, being ready, being focused, because when your opportunity comes, it's not like you throw 20, 50-yard passes in a game, but when you do and you're not getting any looks early on in the game, whether it be coverage, whatever it may be, to stay locked in. And it was more less technique stuff. Grove's done a good job with that. I mean, there's some of it. I've obviously coached receivers for a while, but it's the relationship part that's important to me. I think important to Jay.
Dave, it seems like it's been intentional on your part for the first team working with Daniel, that it's been those 4 receivers instead of rotating guys in and out. Is that fair to say, and what's the reason behind that?
Yeah, absolutely. Those 4 guys, as much as he can throw to those guys. Obviously, Malik is new. Jalen, played sparingly some last year. Obviously, he has a good relationship with Slay. Wandell's coming back, I'd say fully healthy. So the timing, the body language, there's a lot to the passing game to make it work. So, we're doing as much as we can, whether it's individual routes, whether it's certain plays we're trying to take a look at for those guys. But, it's important to build that chemistry.
What's Daniel shown you that's, encouraging as he comes back from the torn ACL? Or what are you looking for?
Yeah, no, he's right mindset. Great in the meetings, seeing it well, letting it loose, improving every day. So it's been good.
When you evaluate him, do you consider the fact that he's coming off of a big surgery and a long layup?
Yeah, good question, Dan. You forget about it sometimes because he looks normal out there, but for what he's done, 8 months or 8.5 months, whatever it may be, and to come back and take every rep, and he feels good. I've talked to him about different things. Hey, scrambling, make sure you feel comfortable out of the pocket, make sure you feel comfortable moving up in the pocket, making plays with your feet. He's been right on track. I mean, it's pretty impressive to me in terms of you have that injury, this is where he's at, this is what he's looked like physically. I'm proud of him.
Yesterday, what did you think of him yesterday and the offense? Obviously, Tuesday it was kind of a little bit of a struggle, and they come back, and then you look at Daniel and you say, okay, after the day off, he comes back and has a better day. You have to think that those kind of days maybe are beneficial to him.
Well, every day is beneficial, so I maybe don't look at it the same way. It's training camp. So
I'm talking about the day off being beneficial to him.
Oh, are you talking
in regards to, hey,
look, he has a good routine. Yeah, I got you. He has a good routine. He was in here and doing his rehab and doing the things that he does to help him. But that's what training camp's for too, is to get a routine on your off day like the regular season, to go ahead and make sure that, you know, it's practice. You're going to have some swings either way, but he's done everything we've asked him to do, and you know, like I said, I'm proud of him.
What's your comfort level in that corner spot opposite Banks? Obviously, Flott's been the guy there.
Sure, good competition. You know, Nick's been out there, Flott's been out there. Again, these next 3 weeks will be important.
Similar kind of question. What are you looking for, and what have you seen from that spot next to Dexter Lawrence, where we were used to Leonard Williams playing like 85% of the snaps? It seems like now it's more open.
Yeah, well, I think Nacho's had a really good camp. You know, he stood out to me in individual drills, some pass rush stuff. Excellent leader for us. And then you have a bunch of young players, you know, a couple older players, but mostly young players that are competing. They got size, they got length. I think Dre and Cox do a fabulous job of developing those guys. And, you know, these preseason games will be important. The padded days will be important for the whole evaluation process. But they're young and hungry.
Brian, did Kayvon show up in better shape for camp?
He looks like Kayvon to me. You know, he's a pro, but he's, you know, these last couple days, I said something to Chuck walking into Charlie Bowen that these have been 2 pretty good days for Kayvon. You know, both in the run and into the pass, but you can see some of his pass rush really develop here, I'd say, you know, from OTAs and these first few days of camp. I think Charlie Bowen's an outstanding coach that's really helped him with fundamentals and technique. And Kayvon is a pro, you know, he wants to be good. Then you add Burns to it, who can give him some, you know, information. They can talk back. But, you know, he's had a good camp so far, Pat, in terms of putting pressure on the quarterback, some of the new pass rush moves he's working on, and just overall development in his defense.
After missing a few days, how well is Theo Johnson picking things up?
He picks it up well. Yeah, smart.
Satisfied with the work he's done on the field so far?
Yeah, I mean, the 3 rookies, I'd say, on offense, Tracy, Theo, and Neighbors. You know, I told you before, we put a high premium on intelligent players, knowing what to do, why it's important, and then, you know, the added benefit of a player that you can't always evaluate is instincts. You know, if he's here, it's not just running lines on a paper or adjusting on a run scheme. I'd say those 3 things, you know, his intelligence, their effort, but then you add the instincts to it for those 3 young players. You know, that's unique. Now we'll see if they can carry it forward. We add stuff every day, and I mean a lot of information just to see how they process, if they can react quick, and, you know, do we need to pull back? Can we add more? And, you know, so far they've done a good job of picking it up.
I know you have confidence in other guys too, but when Neighbors double moves a guy like that and gets that open, do those kind of explosives, like you show up the next day, is there a little bit more excitement about what an offense can do, what a team can do when you have a guy doing stuff like that?
Yeah, I get excited if we just are moving the ball in the right direction. Whether it's a 5-yard play, obviously you love big plays. They're huge in terms of helping you score points. So the more we can hit of those, the better off it is. Obviously, hitting a big play gives a lot of juice to everybody, or, you know, making a big play. We worked a lot of 3rd and long situations yesterday. Try to put the offense kind of in a predicament relative to what you're getting defensively, knowing it's a pass situation. But yeah, big plays always help, whether it's through the air, whether it's through the quarterback's legs, the running back's leg. You know, that's an area that we have to be better at. There's no, make no mistake about it.
I'm sorry. Has Daniel taken on more of a vocal leadership role, do you sense?
I think he has his way to lead. He does a good job in the huddle. It's not, you know, outside, you maybe not see it, but he's a good communicator in the huddle. He's locked in. There's a lot of things that go on in order to play quarterback. So every one of that I've been around has been a little bit different, and I don't want them to change who they are relative to how they lead. They have to process so much information in such a short a time. But you know, he's done a good job with the receivers, the communication aspect of it, with the offensive line. You know, I'm glad that, you know, we added those pieces to the offensive line. I think he's in the right mind space right now.
John Mara said yesterday, you know, he was kind of disappointed that Saquon left, but you and Joe had a conviction there, you know, and he lets you guys make those decisions because he wants you to basically, you know, that's what he hired you to do. I'm wondering, as a coach and working with Joe, what does that mean to have that sort of the confidence in the owner that he's letting you shape the team how you guys want it to be shaped? Yeah,
I've said this before. We have a lot of conversations. John, Steve, the rest of the Mara family, the rest of the Tisch family, Joe, myself. There's a lot of good collaboration. We bounce ideas off, and ultimately we're going to do what we think is best for our football team. But it's good collaboration. There's a lot of good communication going on. I've said this since I've gotten here, and that's what I really appreciate.